The world of entertainment is often filled with dazzling smiles, glamorous red carpets, and scripted perfection. But hidden behind the glitz are stories that shock even the most loyal of fans. And when it comes to Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan, two of China's brightest stars whose bond has always been the center of attention, the latest twist left the entire fandom gasping. Imagine this. A crowded press hall in Beijing, cameras flashing like 1,000 lightning bolts, microphones pushing forward like swords in a battlefield. And in the middle of it all, Wang Yibo, calm, composed, his signature poker face betraying nothing. The reporters didn't waste time. One daring voice echoed the question that had been hanging in the air for weeks. Wang Yibo, is Xiao Zhan really as important to you as people say? The silence in the room was deafening. Every fan watching the livestream held their breath, waiting for the answer. And then, with a coolness that could cut through glass, Wang Yibo uttered words that sent shockwaves across the world. No, that's just a rumor. Don't involve me with him. The denial fell like a thunderclap. Xiao Zhan's name, denied, dismissed, and distanced in one clean sweep. In that instant, millions of hearts cracked. What could have led to this? How could someone with whom he shared years of unforgettable moments, performances, and whispers of unspoken closeness be pushed aside so bluntly? Fans didn't just hear the denial, they felt it. The internet erupted within minutes. Hashtags blazed across Weibo and Twitter. Wang Yibo denied Xiao Zhan trended at lightning speed, reaching millions of posts in less than an hour. Some fans wept in disbelief, others raged with anger, while a quiet group of loyal supporters clung to the belief that maybe, just maybe, there was more to the story than met the eye. Behind the flashing cameras and stiff words, there lingered a deeper truth, one that wasn't caught on microphones but could be read in the flicker of a boy's eyes and the tightness of his jaw. Because though his voice carried denial, his silence spoke volumes. Rumors spread that Xiao Zhan was watching the interview live. Sources close to him described his reaction in detail, sitting quietly in his living room, a cup of tea in hand, staring blankly at the television. The cup slipped from his grasp and shattered on the floor as a boy's words reached him. He didn't move to clean it. He didn't blink. His heart, fans speculated, shattered louder than the porcelain. The fandom began to piece together the story like detectives. Was Yibo pressured by industry politics? Was it management silencing him from expressing loyalty to someone who had become a controversial figure? Or was this truly his own choice to cut ties? What made the denial even more haunting were the flashbacks that fans couldn't forget. The behind-the-scenes laughter during the Untamed, the way Yibo's usually stoic face softened whenever Xiao Zhan was around, the countless fan cams capturing stolen glances, subtle smiles, and an energy that couldn't be faked. Those weren't just coincidences. Those were moments etched into the history of their bond. And now, they were being erased with one denial. The most mind-blowing scene came days later when Xiao Zhan finally made his first public appearance after Yibo's statement. It was at a charity concert, and the atmosphere was already heavy with curiosity. Would he address it? Would he ignore it? Xiao Zhan stepped onto the stage under the glow of thousands of lights. His smile was there, but it was fragile, trembling at the edges. When he sang, his voice carried a weight, a sadness that fans had never heard before. The lyrics of the song seemed to pierce through the silence, about trust, betrayal, and promises broken. Many swore his eyes glistened with unshed tears. The audience was in chaos. Some cried openly, some whispered, his singing to Yibo, while others captured every second, replaying it endlessly online. His performance wasn't just a song. It was a response, not in words but in soul. Meanwhile, Wang Yibo remained silent, disappearing from the spotlight. Rumors claimed he was in deep conflict, torn between personal feelings and professional chains. Friends whispered of his late-night rides on his motorbike through empty streets, his only escape from the crushing weight of fame and decisions he couldn't take back. The fandom became divided. Some turned against Yibo, accusing him of betrayal. Others defended him, insisting that he must have had no choice, that his denial was a shield to protect both of them from forces beyond their control. But what made the story even more explosive was a leaked clip, allegedly from backstage during the press conference. In it, Yibo was caught muttering to his manager, "Don't make me say his name. I don't want to hurt him." The clip went viral, fueling speculation that his denial wasn't rejection, but protection. The narrative changed again. Was Wang Yibo truly denying Xiao Zhan, or was he shielding him from a storm too dangerous to confront? Fans latched onto the idea that the denial wasn't the end of their story, but a new beginning of a silent war fought in shadows. A heartbreaking sacrifice, where one denied the other publicly to keep him safe privately. The scenes that followed were surreal. Fans left flowers outside both of their studios. Some wrote letters addressed to them both, pleading for them not to give up on each other. Candlelight vigils were even held in some cities, with fans singing the duet songs that once defined their connection. And as the storm raged online, one thing became clear. No denial, no matter how sharp, could erase the history between them. Because history isn't written by words alone, it's written by moments, and Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan had too many of those to simply vanish. Whether his denial was real or staged, whether it came from the heart or from pressure, the fact remains. It sparked one of the most emotional, dramatic, and unforgettable moments in modern fandom history. Because sometimes, the most powerful stories aren't the ones told with confessions, but the ones buried in silence, hidden behind cold words, and whispered only in the spaces between. And so, the world waits. Will Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan ever address the storm directly? Will the truth come out? Or will their story remain forever in the hands of the fans, who piece together every glance, every word, every silence, and every denial? One thing is certain, no matter what is said, the bond between them has already written itself into legend. The world is still reeling from that moment. The press conference may be over, the cameras may have stopped flashing, but Wang Yibo's denial of Xiao Zhan continues to reverberate like an endless echo across hearts, screens, and memories. "No, don't involve me with him." Those words were simple, yet they carried the weight of 1,000 storms. And though they were spoken only once, fans have replayed them millions of times, searching for cracks in his voice, a hidden meaning in his tone, or even a flicker in his eyes that might reveal the truth behind the denial. The moment itself wasn't just a press response, it became a cultural earthquake. But to truly understand the depth of it, one must revisit the scene as if it were frozen in time. Picture the press hall again. The air so thick with tension it could choke. Reporters leaning forward, pens ready to strike like daggers. Wang Yibo sat there, posture straight, a black jacket framing his sharp features, his face unreadable. He wasn't just answering questions, he was fencing with them. Every reply was precise, controlled, and deliberate. But when Xiao Zhan's name surfaced, it was as if the ground shifted. Fans swear they saw his knuckles tighten around the microphone, the slightest twitch at the corner of his lips before he delivered the denial. And yet, his eyes, those sharp, piercing eyes, seemed to dim, even if only for a second. It was a denial, yes, but it didn't feel like freedom. It felt like a chain. Behind the cameras, managers exchanged quick glances, relief flooding their faces as if Yibo had successfully dodged a bullet. But outside those walls, the fandom collapsed. Twitter trended, Weibo exploded, TikTok was flooded with edits of their past moments, set now against the backdrop of betrayal. Fans dug up every clip, every interview, every glance from the untamed days. They replayed the way Yibo once adjusted Xiao Zhan's microphone during an award show, the wry smile he cracked whenever Xiao Zhan teased him, the silent understanding in their eyes when they performed together. How could such undeniable chemistry end in denial? The story took an even more dramatic turn when whispers emerged that Xiao Zhan himself had seen the press conference in real time. Insiders described the scene with heartbreaking detail. Xiao Zhan, dressed casually in his apartment, reportedly froze the moment Yibo's denial came through the screen. For minutes, he sat still, the world around him dissolving into silence. The clink of a teacup breaking on the floor was said to be the only sound that filled the room. But Xiao Zhan didn't lash out. He didn't cry publicly. Instead, he carried his pain into his art. Days later, at the charity concert, he stepped onto the stage. Fans expected a smile, But what they saw instead was a man wearing a mask of composure, his true emotions peeking through like cracks in fragile glass. When he sang, the lyrics were haunting. His voice trembled at certain lines, and for a fleeting moment, he closed his eyes as though shielding himself from the memory of that denial. Fans didn't just hear a performance. They witnessed an unraveling of emotions stitched into every note. And though he never mentioned Wang Yibo's name, the song itself felt like a direct reply, as if he was speaking to Yibo through the melody, through the silence between words. Meanwhile, Wang Yibo disappeared. No social media posts, no appearances, just silence. But silence speaks louder than words, and in his absence, rumors only grew louder. Friends close to him whispered about his long motorbike rides under the midnight sky, where he sped through empty roads as if trying to outrun the very words he had spoken. Some claimed he confided that the denial wasn't his choice, it was an order. Then came the leaked backstage clip, a grainy video, shaky and muffled, but enough to ignite the fandom once more. In it, Yibo could be heard muttering to his manager, "Don't make me say his name. I don't want to hurt him." Those words flipped the entire narrative. Suddenly, the denial wasn't betrayal, it was sacrifice. Was Wang Yibo denying Xiao Zhan to protect him from the storm of controversies, industry politics, or unseen threats? Fans clung to this theory like lifelines, rewriting the denial into an act of love hidden beneath cold words. And so, the fandom became divided but passionate. Some painted Yibo as the villain, others as the silent protector. But no matter which side they fell on, one truth united them. The denial had become unforgettable. The most mind-blowing part of this saga isn't just the denial itself, but the way it exposed the fragile humanity behind these two stars. In the glitz of fame, where every smile is staged and every word rehearsed, this denial ripped the curtain apart and revealed raw emotion, pain, fear, longing, and sacrifice. Fans began leaving symbolic gifts outside their studios. Flowers for Xiao Zhan, motorbike keychains for Yibo, letters filled with pleas, confessions, and unwavering loyalty. Vigils were held where fans lit candles, singing their duets into the night, as though trying to stitch back the bond that fame had torn apart. No matter how sharp Wang Yibo's denial was, it could not erase the memories carved into millions of hearts. Their story, whether friendship, partnership, or something deeper, was already legendary. And perhaps that is why the denial hurt so much. Because you cannot deny history. You cannot erase connection. You cannot silence the moments that already exist. As the world watches, one question lingers like smoke. Will this denial stand forever? Or will the truth eventually find its way into the light? Until then, the denial lives on. Not as an end, but as a haunting chapter in a story too powerful to fade.